Hey guys, it's Jasvinder, and our talk for tonight is if you want to heal, run towards the wound. When I think of the things that have wounded me most in my life, they're words. They're words that other people have told me. And the worst of all was when I was told at some point in high school, when you talk, no one listens. When you talk, no one listens. I remember how awful that felt. I remember how awful that felt awful for a long time. That really cut deep, deeper than anything I can think of. I don't remember most of the other insults I was told in my life. I haven't had that many to forget, I don't think, but I have forgotten them. When you talk, no one listens. Just let that sink in, how that feels. So I did what anybody would do. What you might even be doing as you hear that right now is I ran away from that feeling. What I found is that running away from that wound only made those words come true. I was terrified to believe that that was the truth. And when I ran away from it and turned my awareness away from it and turned my awareness away from why it is that that hurt as much as it did, I did exactly that. I came to embody that statement. I started to use my speech to create the maximum possible distance between me and other people. And that made me intimidating. It made me sort of an over-talker, an over-explainer. It made me use very unconversational language in conversation, be very formal. And that was really a tremendous form of inauthenticity. I was hiding myself behind my language, behind my words, which was, of course, guaranteeing that I would not be heard. It was guaranteeing that people couldn't hear me, because I was being inauthentic. I was pushing them away so they wouldn't come close enough to hurt me the way that I was once upon a time. And that came at a great cost to me in terms of relationships, in terms of feelings of acceptance and self-esteem. And as the story goes, and it's a familiar story, I did all kinds of unhealthy things to compensate for that. And I engaged in all kinds of incoherent thinking to convince myself that what I was doing was the right thing to do in my own best interests. And eventually I decided that I had suffered enough. I had paid enough of a price. And I didn't trace it back to that statement right away, but I did start to look into it. And eventually I started to come closer to that trauma again. I started to retrace my steps and, sort of looking and glancing and staring and then crawling and walking and eventually running towards the wound. And the closer I got towards it, the more I started to see all these things about myself. And the most important thing that I learned was that I do want to be heard, that being heard matters to me. That's why it hurt so much to be told that I wasn't and that I could not be heard. And I realized that I wanted to say something worth hearing. I wanted to have a message worth contributing to the world, to other people. A message that would bring people back to the goodness in themselves by pointing out what they've been avoiding and pointing out that they are too strong to pretend that they have to avoid these little paper cuts that we believe to be life-threatening hemorrhages. And it allowed me to see everything that I was doing that was working for or against that vision of saying something worth hearing and believing that I was someone worth listening to. And I'll just let you sit with that. Well, guys, thank you for your time. My name is Jasvinder. This video has served you. Please share it around, and we will talk again soon.